Initially, I remember you saying, gee, a little standoffish. She's a cop.
I've had my years ago, a long time ago, but
Yeah, I remember. I remember. And the thing is that one of the reasons I do this show is that I want people to know that there's two sides to law enforcement. There's the side of that people do things. Their society says that there's consequences, and I do that. That's part of my profession. But when I took the oath, when I went to get this job, when I went through my interviews, that wasn't the thing I said. When I said, why do you want to be a cop? I didn't say, I want to put people in jail. I want to lock up everybody who drinks too much or everybody who does a drug. I said, I want to help people. And I think by and large, all police officers felt that way when they took the job, that they want to do something to help people. And unfortunately, we can't allow people to drive around drunk. That goes without saying. But by the same token, I don't feel that our job necessarily stops when we put them behind bars either. I can put anybody in jail very easily, and guess what? What do they learn in jail? Pretty much nothing. Or they learn how not to get caught the next time.
yeah.
Or a new wrinkle on, and that goes from everything to doing thefts, to doing narcotics, to doing alcohol or any of the other drugs, or doing burglaries, etc. And I think our role in the community has to be more helpful. And things like NJ Law, for 6 years we've been on the air, and just trying to give people information so that they understand a little bit more how the criminal justice system works, but also for people like yourself, and to know that if somebody calls me up and I'm working and they say, listen, I have an alcohol problem, I have a drug problem, whatever, the first thing I'm not going to be saying is, let me see the callback number on caller ID so I can go over and bust this person. Sure, that would be easy to do, but that's not what we're trying to be about. If they haven't been able, by picking up the phone or looking in the phone book, to find somebody to help them, I have enough connections and know enough people that we can do that. And I think you'd agree that by far is much more important, and that's a lot of the things we've been talking about just about every time we see each other.
You were talking earlier about the fact that by the time the alcoholic or drug addict gets to you, you're looked upon so differently. I mean, now the person is influenced by drug or alcohol and sees you as the bad guy because of the drug. Before, it's like they're looking at you the wrong way, under the influence of something. If they know they have a problem and they could call, it's a safe thing to do. But by the time you guys got to get to them, you got to protect the other drivers on the road. I can see this now. I couldn't see it then.
Yeah.
And it's a catch-22.
Yeah, it is. It's a problem, and I want to just take this call real quick, but then I want to go back to that point. Barbara?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Yep.
I was wondering, Officer Twin?
Yes.
Yes, I was wondering if you go around to, let's say, high schools or grammar schools and talk about this issue with the children?
Well, yes and no. At present, my duties involve patrol officers. I supervise police officers in Ocean Township. Before that, I was in the youth division, and I had a couple of different programs I do in the schools, just speaking informally to them, much in the same format as we do on the show, letting them ask just about any kind of questions they wanted, because I always feel honest, especially with young people. They know when you're trying to sell them a bill of goods. And if you treat them with respect and honestly, then I think that in and of itself is part of our function and should be our job. Another thing we've talked about, and I spoke to Danny before the show, is that I'm obviously going to videotape this show as it's being taped now, and maybe get a copy to some of the local high schools that they can see that people. It takes a big guy to come into a place and admit he has a problem, and Danny's obviously been in the limelight for a number of years. Probably not a lot of people were aware that he had this problem before. They certainly are now, but I think that's an important message that just about anybody can get into a problem. I'm sorry if I went on, but
that's fine.
I don't know if that's the type of
that's what we originally talked about.
Yeah.
Was doing some schools.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a great idea, helping the children. That's the best thing we can all do.
Well, children are our best resource, and we have to be very careful in how we deal with them. And one of the things one of the things we spoke about was how were people going to take this? Danny and I were friends, and I'm a police officer, and he's not, and had some problems before. Is that going to be well accepted? Are people going to be kind of curious? How can they be that friendly? Does either side sway to the other? We've both been involved in music for a long time. You can't buy my records, but you can buy his.
You try to sell those things.
Oh, I try, yeah. Danny promised me buy one. And we want people to know that we're human beings above all else, and that and no matter what your role in life is, that you can care about other people and try to help them, and that's why Danny's here tonight, and I'm sure that's why one of the reasons you called is because you probably, as I was, are very impressed that he would take the time to come down and talk this openly to folks.
True.
I'm sorry, did I even answer the question?
Yes, I believe you did. Very much. So.
Do you have someone that you're concerned about? Anyone in particular?
Excuse me?
Do you have anyone that you're concerned about in particular?
Oh, no, I was just wondering if there was any kind of seminars going on.
Yeah, we were going to try to do something along those lines. Dan is, as we said, moving to California. I hope he'll be back visiting as often as he can. We did threaten to bring musical instruments here tonight and play them, but
Next time.
but he shipped his stuff to California already, so we had limited resources. But I thank you for your call. I'm glad you're watching, and I'm glad that you think the subject matter is interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right.
David.
Yeah, hi, Kevin.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Hi, Danny.
How you doing?
Okay, I had a question for both of you, actually, both Kevin and Danny, if you could answer your opinions and your thoughts on the legalization of drugs. Well, what is your, I understand there's a big debate going on and the pros and cons of it. I just want to get both your personal inputs on that.
Wow.
Well, I think if you've watched NJ Law before, you know right where I stand.
Yes, I do.
So I seriously think that's a big mistake, and I think I know what a lot of the reasons for legalization are, but I see nothing but just giving people one more crutch to be a problem to them. But Dan?
I think there's a lot of other things out there that should be delegalized or taken off the market that haven't been. I don't know. I just think that putting some people don't know how to do anything. I mean, you give them alcohol, they drink too much of it. You give them drugs, they take too many of them. And unfortunately, we see the numbers. We see what happens and how many people die from these things. And I think as much as you hate to be controlled by anyone or anything, this is not a bad thing for society to take a hold of and control, because it's bad stuff. It never did me any good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my concern was